Hi, everybody. My name is Miss Julie Ann Keller, and I go by the author's name, Miss Penny. Today, I'm going to be reading a little bit from my book called The RICA's Last Word, Haikus to Further Enhance a Reading Program. The RICA stands for Reading, Instruction, Comprehension, and Assessment. It is a standardized test that teacher candidates have who are working towards their multiple subjects teaching credential have to take and pass in order to prove that they are competent in reading instruction. The way the test is structured is there are 3 subtests and 5 domains. So I've gone over domains 1 through 3 already in previous videos, and if you haven't had a chance to check those out, then feel free to start there. If you're just looking for Domain 4, which covers vocabulary, academic language, and background knowledge, then this video is going to be for you. The information that is covered in these haikus will appear on subtest 2 and potentially subtest 3, depending on what your case study is. So the competencies that are covered in Domain 4 are Competency 10 and Competency 11. They want you to be able to understand the role of vocabulary, academic language, and background knowledge in reading development and factors that affect students' development of vocabulary, academic language, and background knowledge. Competency 11 is to be able to understand how to promote students' development of vocabulary, academic language, and background knowledge. So I'm hoping that these haikus are helpful for you in your study process. My recommendation would be to take some notes, write down vocabulary that you would like to remember or like to review, write down haikus that help solidify the information in your head. And as always, if you are more of a paperback version like myself because you like to annotate the text, then you can get your own copy of the entire book through the link that is posted in the description. All right, thank you so very much for that lengthy introduction. Let's get started with haikuing. Vocabulary, academic language, background knowledge. They all relate to reading comprehension, so they are important. Happy readers are assessed first, then explicit instruction for skills. Your instruction needs to explicitly model text's language structures. Language structures are complex, so teach directly, model, analyze. When teaching vocab, give meaningful examples, like use realia. Picture sorts and read alouds are ways you can teach kids context vocab. There are 3 tiers of vocab you will teach: basic, target, and content. Tier 1, basic words. Tier 2, the targeted words. Tier 3, content words. A vocab program. Teach Tier 2 and strategies to learn words. Practice. 7 target words supports understanding of language and the text. Build up your students' vocab with strategies like word walls and discussions. Littles learn vocab by talking, listening, and categorizing. Older kids use clues like apposition and the sentence's context. Apposition is when the word's definition is between commas. Regardless of how you do it, help students build their word consciousness. Word consciousness grows with vocab organizers, roots, and affixes. Investigations and word games also will help build word consciousness. There are lots of things you can try to teach vocab. Which will you do first? Semantic mapping builds central coherence by compare and contrast. Content mapping is this is not, fill in when defining words. Morphological mapping breaks down words into affixes and roots. Concept mapping is making comparisons and contrasts to a word. Word webs and word sorts help to learn Greek and Latin root affixes. Personal word lists also help reading, writing, and discussions. Discussions go well as long as there's a culture of discourse present. Culture of discourse means there's a culture to listen and respond. Create this culture with nonverbal hand signals and sentence starters. Don't forget, it will take practice and persistence for group discussions. Always model the language and habits you wish to teach them. When you teach, model figurative speech. Language is playful. Show them. When you teach, return to concepts. Repeated tasks build understanding. When you teach vocab to EML students, use visuals, cognates. If students still need help, pre-teach, use visuals, reteach, and role play. Increase challenge by using advanced reads, tier 2 word lists, poetry. Remember, increase the rigor, not the amount. More is not the way. The importance of vocab is its connection to comprehension. How can you get the meaning of the text if you don't know the vocab? Furthermore, you need vocab to understand the cues on assessments. What vocab do your students need to know to get the following cues? Literal versus figurative. How do you understand the text? Can you define words independently with clues and morphology? What are synonyms for soft? What are antonyms for soft? Do you know? Can you determine the meaning of prefixes, suffixes, roots? Vocab needs to be understood to comprehend the questions asked. Think about it. When you assess reading comp, you assess vocab too. Assess vocab with an open sentence or closed passage for data. Open sentences. Fill in the blank sentences. June is after blank. Close paragraph. Words are removed from a passage. Fill it in. Your reading program should assess, teach, and practice vocabulary. Most importantly, students should get time to read. ZPD reading. The more reading they do, the more vocab and more exposures they gain. The more reading, the more academic success. Reading is magic. All right, that concludes the haikus for Domain 4. I hope that they were fun and helpful for you. Feel free to like and comment with your favorite haiku or maybe a question that is still lingering in your head. The next video is going to start to cover the last domain, Domain 5, comprehension. So I hope that you continue to follow me on this haiku journey, and I wish you the best of luck of passing your RICA exam. Thanks.